And cause number 22-41144 is recalled. The state of Texas versus David Allen Tovar. The defendant is present, his attorney and the state's attorneys. Earlier in this case, the defendant was found guilty by a jury trial of the first-degree felony of continuous sexual abuse of a child. Arrested over weekend, returned back today for presentation of evidence for the punishment phase. The jury was instructed, the lawyers gave their final arguments, and the jury began deliberations on the punishment phase of this trial. We have received a message from the jury that the jury has reached a verdict in this punishment phase of the trial. Please bring the jury in and we will receive it. The verdict shall now show that the jury is in the courtroom on behalf of the jury as the foreperson of the jury. The court has received a message that the jury has reached a verdict in this punishment phase or second phase of this trial. Is that true? Is this decision and verdict a unanimous one? That is, one that is agreed upon by all members of the jury. And do any of the jurors disagree with your foreperson's representation? No disagreement. It does indeed appear to be unanimous. This time I'm going to ask you to pass the documentation to the bailiff. The court will review for proper form and publish the verdict. The defendant shall rise. In cause number 22-41144, State of Texas versus David Allen Tovar, we, the jury, assess the defendant's punishment of confinement in the institution of division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 28 years, signed by the jury foreperson, and it is received and made a part of the record for all purposes. The defense may be seen. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, your duty as jurors is complete. At the beginning of the trial, I placed each of you under a number of instructions, and I am releasing you from those instructions previously given to you. One final instruction, though, at the end.
All right, folks, buckle in. This is the punishment phase of a chilling Texas trial. The jury already found David Allen Tovar guilty of continuous sexual abuse of a child, one of the most serious first-degree felonies in Texas law. Now, it's all about what happens next, the sentence. Will he face decades behind bars, or could mercy play a role here? Let's find out.
You are discharged. You are released from your oath of secrecy. You will be free to discuss the case and your deliberations with anyone. And conversely, you are also free to refuse to discuss the case. You have every right to maintain your silence unless otherwise ordered to do so by the court. Now, once you are discharged, the attorneys need to take up a couple of matters here, then they will be released. And they always like to get input and feedback from jurors if you're willing. Just stick around and speak to them. It always helps them to be a better lawyer. And it's always helpful, but you are also free to leave as well. And that is completely your prerogative. I always believe that the people come forward for jury service and make decisions, do it with their best intentions. And because of that, the bar is high beyond a reasonable doubt, and is the test that is used in all modern governments that we came up with to answer those concerns for people. So I want to thank you for your time and energy and the seriousness that tell this. But these are important decisions. They're always difficult decisions.
Tension right here is palpable. The jury's coming back. And remember, this isn't guilt or innocence anymore. This is how long he'll serve. Every face in this room knows what's at stake. Will be 10 years, 20 or more. Watch how calm the judge stays. That's years of experience handling high-stakes justice.
But we all want a decision made. There's nothing really that concerns us more than having to retry the cases. It's a rare event when that happens, when there's a hung jury. But it can happen. But I want to thank you for doing your job and coming forth with a unanimous decision. Now, Lacey has documentation there. My coordinator has documentation if you need it for work or school or other purposes. And the attorneys will be out shortly after we pick up some matters that need to be taken up. I hope they have the honor to work with you in the future. And until then, may God continue to bless Jefferson County and her citizens. Not only to you, but also the alternates. Try to dress up with no place to go, but we have had to use alternates about one every 4 or 5 cases now. So, thank you for your time and energy. And I can guarantee if we didn't have an alternate, if we lost one, the rules say you have to have 12 or else it's mistried. So you can see how important an alternate is. So thank you all for your time and your energy. And again, I hope to have the honor to work with you. And you are excused. Thank you. Everyone else remains seated while this honorable jury thanks us first. Thank you. Is there any legal reason why a formal sentence should not be pronounced?
And there it is, 28 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. That's nearly 3 decades behind bars. Notice the calm tone? Judges announce sentences with zero emotion. But make no mistake, this moment changes a life forever.
This time, the state. David Allen Tovar, you came before this court on the jury, entered a plea of not guilty to the offense of continuous sexual abuse of a child, as set out in this indictment in cause number 22-41144. The evidence was submitted. The jury was charged by the court. After deliberating, the jury returned a verdict finding you guilty of this first-degree felony of continuous sexual abuse of a child. And thereafter, punishment evidence was submitted before the jury. The jury was charged and assessed your punishment of confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 28 years. Is there any legal reason at this time why final sentencing judgment should not be assessed by the parties in the state or in defense? Then it is the judgment of this court that you are guilty in this cause number 22-41144, the state of Texas versus David Allen Tovar, for the first-degree felony of continuous.
This is one of those rare moments of respect in the courtroom. The judge is praising the jury for their service. And it's worth noting, jurors carry the emotional weight of decisions like these. They don't just go home and forget. Imagine having to decide someone's fate and then returning to normal life the next day.
Sexual abuse of a child. And you shall be punished in accordance with the jury's verdict. Your punishment is therefore assessed at confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's institutional division for a term of 28 years. Shall therefore be delivered by the sheriff of Jefferson County, Texas, to the director of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's institutional division, or any other person legally authorized to receive such convicts, where you shall be confined for 28 years in accordance with the laws governing the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's institutional division. David Allen Tovar will here now remain in the custody of the sheriff of Jefferson County, Texas, until she can obey and carry out the directions and instructions of this sentence. Your sentence will commence this day. You will receive credit for all time periods of detention as provided by the law. Anything else to add from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Or the defense?
No.